Glenda Moore, Kind House Ukraine Bakery, like we haven't met you before. Let's talk though. You always have such great events going on each and every year. And I know you haven't been doing this one as long as the others, but let's talk about your amazing cake off event that's coming up.
Oh man, we're very excited about this. Actually, this came about because my daughter lives in LA and she actually saw one of these events where you get to go in, you bring your cake, and however many servings your cake serves is how many slices you get of all of the other people's cakes. So it's going to be really exciting. So registration opens Friday night, October 3rd at midnight. And that will be released on Facebook, and we'll also put it on our website so people can go to the link, sign up, pay for their entry fee. And then on the 10th, no, the 11th, which is Saturday, October 11th, they're going to bring it to Emerald Area Foundation between the times of 10 and 11.
Okay.
But you want to be in line first because if you're in line first, that means you're the first to go in to see all of these beautiful cakes. And lots of people definitely bring their phones
Hmm.
because they want to like look at all the beautiful cakes that they're going to get to see.
Yeah.
It's just quite something. So we're really excited. The Amarillo Junior League is going to actually serve those slices of cakes for us.
Awesome.
So they're really excited about that too. And it's going to be a great event.
So I know maybe you've made one cake, maybe you've made zero cakes. I told you have a cake idea in mind. It may
Yeah,
or may not work out. So this
sure.
is for everyone. Like you don't
It's
have
for
to be
everyone.
some
No,
master 7-tier wedding cake
no.
maker. It can just be maybe you have a recipe that you really love and you think is going to win. But tell us some of like if I really want to win, and I know you can't give me all the secrets, but give me a few of those tips to make sure that like whatever I bring is going to stand out.
Sure. You definitely want it to be edible. I know that
Good
sounds
point. Good
crazy,
point.
but I mean, like some people put, I mean, because I've done some flowers in the past where you put flowers on the cake that are not edible, but you want every part of the cake to be edible. You want your cake layers to be nice and moist. You don't want something that's going to be dry and falling apart.
Hmm.
We're going to invite other people from other bakeries to come be the judges for the contest. And so there's going to be a first, second, and third prize. And if you're not about winning the prizes, you just want to have, lots of cake, that's
Yeah.
okay too. And another suggestion is that you go ahead and get with your friends and book a Saturday afternoon with them so that they can come and taste all of the cakes with you so
I
that you're
love
not
that.
eating all the 24 slices by yourself.
I mean, if you want to do that, I'm
I mean,
stingy. I
you
don't
could,
know. I
you
don't know
could.
about that. I know that this is an event that you've done before. What were some of your favorites? Were there any that you were like, this is definitely, it was definitely a crowd favorite? Or is it kind of all over the place?
I think it's all over the place.
Okay.
And I mean, honestly, the more color we have, it just makes the event more beautiful. So
Yeah.
it's really nice to try some really different flavors. So very interesting, but a lavender cake is a really,
Really?
yes. So that's something that's really interesting. So, I mean, there's some different flavors that I've tried before.
Yeah.
I would have never thought to have like an orange chocolate cake, but those are actually quite great
Really?
cakes that kind of the flavors go together.
Yeah.
Also, a lemon chocolate cake is pretty astounding.
These are all
So,
flavors. I mean, orange and chocolate goes together, but I've
yeah,
never thought, let me go ahead and do that in a cake
yeah, yeah. It's
or lemon and chocolate.
Yeah, you could do like a
That's crazy.
marble of both of those, and it's actually quite phenomenal.
What about for someone who can bake a cake, but maybe they don't want to put it into layers? So you even if I bring like can I bring a 9 by 13?
Absolutely.
So I can
Yeah,
bring whatever.
you can bring whatever.
Gosh.
Some tips for you though is we will be handing out boxes for you to be able to collect your cake slices in.
Okay.
But when you bring your cake, you might want to bring a disposable um,
Go get like a
a
box.
tier to put
Yeah.
it on.
Okay.
So just, to be able to submit your cake so that it's not all flat, it kind of helps your cake to stand out if there's, some little things to put it on.
Now I am probably a terrible baker. Like I'm not going to get first prize, but if I drop off a cake, I pay the $35, maybe I only go home with 2 slices because nobody liked my cake. But let's talk about where that money is going to go. So
Sure.
beyond just getting a sugar high on that day, talk about where this money is going to
Well,
go.
the sweetest thing about this is that this is going to go help people in Ukraine, especially this coming winter. So winters are very hard in Ukraine because of the war. Unfortunately, the infrastructure is very targeted, and so many times there's rolling blackouts.
Mm.
It's very, it's treacherous.
Yeah.
So being able to pay for some power banks and some things that are going to be able to produce heat, keep people alive, that's our goal, is to save lives. So,
Yeah.
literally the theme of Kind House Ukraine Bakery is cakes save lives. So this is it. This is the event of cake saving lives.
Talk about how this mission has grown. I don't know if you knew that it was going to grow like
No,
this in
no, I
terms
had
of,
no idea.
helping a select group of people and helping in that situation. And
Yes,
then the war broke out and you kind of expanded that.
yes,
And now it just seems like it's normal every day
it
for
is.
them. We really don't see an end in sight. And so your short-term mission to help has now been 3+ years of kind of doing this
Yes,
dual help with winter, but also
yes.
help people who may be in those areas. Talk about how that mission has changed and what it means to you to kind of step back
Sure.
sometimes and look at
Well, the
who
crazy
you're
thing
helping.
is that the war started in 2014. So in 2013, when we were helping orphans and widows and, just doing a little, we were just barely sticking our toe in the water.
Yeah.
And then 2014, when Crimea was annexed, and Russia really invaded that eastern flank of Ukraine, that was a very tough, crazy time. So baking out of my house for 9 years
Mhm.
and just the community not knowing where Ukraine was even located at. And so Amarillo has really become it's become a hub of hope and healing for Ukraine.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting because I thought of our initials, Kind House Ukraine Bakery. I never thought of it as the hub.
Mhm.
But now, whenever we went to Ukraine this last trip, many of our Ukrainian friends were like, "We just love the hub," and I was like,
The
"What?
hub.
What's the hub?" And they were like, "Yeah, the Kind Hub." And I was like, "Wow, that's amazing." So I didn't even think of that. But it's really transformed their minds too because they see that we've come along with them for the long haul and we're in there with them for the long haul. My 18th trip to Ukraine was my favorite trip ever because these people have been through a lot of serious, crazy things and their attitudes are phenomenal. I mean, they just they're living every
Yeah.
day, and so, every 3 days, maybe every 4 days, there's a huge missile attack in Ukraine, but in between those times, people are laughing and enjoying each other and doing everything they can to just embrace life, and so I came back to America and saw, we could use some of that. We could
Yeah.
use some hope. We could use some chances to focus on helping others instead of just being in the mire.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I don't think I've ever seen you upset, and I'm sure you have those moments, but you and I have never been around each other where I'm like, something's going on with Glenn, or like she's really mad today, or so. Talk about how their resilience and how their attitude really shapes you in your life here, because at the end of the day, I mean, we all have problems, but I'm not having to go into a bunker every 3 days and
Right,
hope that my house is still standing.
right,
And so for those of us who maybe get down or angry or sad or frustrated with what's going on around us, at the end of the
yeah,
day, I don't hear a siren going off every 3 days, and I don't have to
right.
think my life is going to end at any moment. How does that play into your attitude and your mission in life? And you're always just so bubbly and happy. I feel like some of that has to do with, well, it could be a lot worse.
I think so. On my very first trip to Ukraine and then getting on the plane and hearing someone complain that they had a Diet Coke instead of a Dr. Pepper, it was just like a reality check of how just how brief our life is and how we really get one chance to make a difference. We get one chance to display who we really are. So like that's a just constant reminder. And actually, I do get in a mood sometimes. Actually, a couple of weeks ago, I was on my way to the bakery, and it was just right after we got back from Ukraine, and we had like 1,000 cookies to bake, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
trying to think, okay, are all the volunteers showing up? Are all the things we're going to do? And I was on my way to the bakery, and a friend in Ukraine sent me a video, and it was just like shocking,
Mhm.
um, just watching this bomb fall on the city that she lived in. And um, she had just sent it to me, and I was like, "Is it okay if I post it?" She said, "Sure, you can post it." It was just like I felt like God just reached down and kind of just squeezed my heart and said, "You know,
Yeah.
you need to take a step back and like 1,000 cookies, you know,
Yeah.
if the cookies don't get baked, no one's gonna, no one's gonna be mad, no one's gonna be angry. And if they are, like, oh well, I mean,
Yeah.
you need to feel the blessing right now that you're feeling and understand that life is very, very short and we've got to embrace every moment and we've got to be realistic in this moment. I think that
Yeah.
sometimes when we get so upset over really petty things, it's because we're not really looking at the huge picture of what's happening in our world.
So I know you've got this event coming up. If somebody is maybe like, I think I'll burn the cake before I drop it off, but they still want to be involved. I know you've got plenty of events and plenty of ways that people can get involved. I know you're always looking for volunteers. Talk about what that process is like. If somebody is maybe
Sure.
watching this and they're like, I can't bake a cake, but maybe I could do something else.
Absolutely. So we would be welcoming you if you would like to come on the day of the event and help us like set up and break down. That would be
Yeah.
awesome. But if you just want to volunteer at the bakery, we would love to have you. You need to give us a call, 806 220-8115 at the bakery. We're open Tuesday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 2, or you can shoot us a text on that number and
Okay.
say, hey, I'm interested in volunteering. And then I'll kind of walk you through the process. You do need your Texas food handler's license. We require that for all of our volunteers. And so it's just something that helps us to really stay abreast of all of the health things that we need to keep in mind when we're working with food and with customers.
I think the best part about you having so many different volunteers and the volunteers that you have is that it seems every week you've got something new. So I know you guys have been doing like Detroit style pizzas. I saw a
Yeah.
Tres Leches cake up this week. Like all of those things that maybe you don't know how to do a cake, but you know how to do something very specific that maybe you
Yes.
think everyone in Amarillo needs to try. And I love
Yes.
that you let people do that, that they come in and they're like, I have this idea for something. You're like, all right,
Yeah, absolutely.
we'll see what happens. And you've always got so many different like new things that are popping up in the store.
Well, and it's, we're turning towards the colder mornings.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, this week we have brisket sliders, which are really great. And we have it on our Hawaiian sourdough bread. So that's really, really good. And then we have pot roast sandwiches on our ciabatta bread, tomato soup this week. Next week we'll have chicken noodle.
This
So,
is not out of a can. I saw a whole sheet pan of
oh,
tomatoes.
yeah,
This
we
is
roast our own
this is
tomatoes.
not the pop open and put
No,
some water
no.
in it. This is real food.
Everything's from scratch. Yeah. So everything's from scratch. We don't do mixes of any kind. So, and that's been really good too,
Yeah.
because actually the Tres Leche cake came from our new volunteer, Claudia. So she was like, hey, you should make this. And I was like, okay, let's
Okay.
try it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So we're about it.
All right. So make sure if you do want to sign up, you said October 3rd at midnight,
Yes.
and you sign up, you'll pay $35, and then you let your creativity run until October 10th.
Yes.
Go drop it off between 10 and 11, Amarillo Area Foundation, which is right here in downtown. And then wait for that phone call so we can come by and pick up more cake slices, right?
Actually, so whenever you drop off your cake, you will receive a number, and so you will come and line up at 1 o'clock in order with your number,
Okay.
and so we'll let you go in groups. So groups of 10 will go select their slices of cake, and so it'll be really fun. We're gonna have a great time.
Make sure you're there early so you can be at the beginning of the line. You get
That's
the
right.
best cake slices when
That's
you're
right.
there.
And it sounds crazy, but we're only accepting 150 participants. So that sounds like a lot, but
Mhm.
I mean, you can't believe how fast it's going to fill up.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Glenda,
Thank
for
you.
joining us today talking
Thank you,
about this
Cheryl.
event.
Thank you.